First course, white for pudding.
Hello and welcome to the last in the current series of the Great British Shitcom, the show in which we watch some potentially forgotten sitcom classics to see if they stood the test of time. I'm Mark, this is Chris Woods.
Hello.
And this is Chris Jones.
Oh, hey.
And today we will be watching Curry and Chips.
Delicious.
Delicious curry and chips. James, you won last week.
Yep.
While we watched The Thin Blue Line.
Again.
Rubbing it in.
Still raw.
And yeah, we're watching Curry and Chips.
Cheeps.
Curry and Chips.
Probably shouldn't set the precedent of doing funny voices, not for this one.
Dear.
Hey?
Yeah. More on that later. So the series premise for this.
Can't believe
Factory 4. Oh dear. God.
He's not even read it out yet.
I don't know what to say.
Curry and Chips is a short-lived British sitcom.
No, you got it right
That was
first
a
time.
Freudian slip. Broadcast in 1969, or 69, by LWT for ITV network. It was one series with 6 episodes from November to Boxing Day in 1969.
I think the promising thing so far is that we're probably going to have the old.
Jesus, what a first sentence.
Go on.
It's a short synopsis, but what a first sentence. Oh my god.
Come on.
Set on the factory floor of Lilycrap Ltd.
Okay.
Comma. It starred a blacked up Spike Milligan as a Pakistani immigrant who went by the name of Kevin O'Grady. How about that for a first sentence?
Yeah.
Good God. It also featured Eric Sykes as the foreman,
Mm-hmm.
Norman Rossington as the shop steward, and other regulars were Kenny Lynch and Sam Kidd. The series is written by Till Death. Oh, well, that's a surprise.
No, I can go into more of that in a bit.
The series was based on an idea by Spike Milligan. Controversy's got its own section here.
Scroll.
That's weird. Crucially, it was the first LWC sitcom to be broadcast in entirety in colour. So that's also
That
crucial.
helped. That's a nice little fact. That.
Yeah, the ambition of Curry and Chips was purportedly to highlight discrimination rather than promote it.
I don't want to
Yeah, we should probably talk about this later on, but
Yeah, I think I want to add to this a nice little fact that Spike Milligan was born in Pakistan, and I think he was spent the first few years of his life there, perhaps.
doesn't make it okay, does it? Really?
So no, I'm not saying that it does make it okay, but
that's the equivalent of he's got some of his best friends are Pakistani immigrants.
yeah, I agree with that. But I just think that maybe in his mind, that does make it okay.
Well, yeah, but was he? If he was trying to highlight it rather than promote it, I mean, that could have been just poor execution, like, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not saying like, oh, he made it as a discriminatory thing.
Yeah.
And again, you're looking at this from like I know it's you can't look back and say, oh well, it was all right back then, that kind of thing. But it's you're looking through it from like 2000.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
yes,
mindset, aren't you?
Yeah, this is post millennium, so it's at least 14 years ago. You know, the whole thing.
That's a good callback.
All right, fucking hell.
Oh, he's doing it again. Look,
What?
Holding the mic.
you got to hold it.
Oh, why do I have to hold
It goes
it?
with rumbly.
Rumbly? It's my tummy.
That's my ready break.
I've had my Weetabix.
Did he really have
Oh, I
Weetabix?
fucking hate it, but
Did he really have Weetabix?
no, I didn't have Weetabix.
Do
No.
you like Weetabix?
Oh, I can't watch it since that stupid advert of the giant. I've had my Weetabix. Oh, fuck off.
What did you have for breakfast?
This morning,
Yeah.
I had some waffles.
Waffles or potato?
The potato waffles. In fact, I didn't even have waffles, just had potatoes. Boiled potatoes. No, some waffles and some strawberries, some fruit.
Ooh,
Classy.
It's the weekend breakfast, isn't it? Because I have to
Yeah.
get up early and make Alice breakfast.
It sounds like you're forced.
I wake up. Where's my breakfast? All right, I'll get up and do it. Drink a cup of tea as well. That's all right. I'm not being abused.
And Anything Chris does say is not under duress.
I like it really. I asked for it. I walked into a door. But not that we should be making light of that. It's horrific. No, it's a genuine thing. It's like, I don't know, it's funny to, like, we think it's funny, but it's not really, if it was true.
We think it's
not
funny.
true. No, but I'm saying it as a joke, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
you joke
absolutely.
about it.
This is a safe environment. Yeah, we can make all the jokes we want.
This is the problem that Spike Milligan ran into. like the door. Well, I think it's like, obviously we're sort of preempting it because we've not really discussed or seen it, but like, I think he's kind of, if like the synopsis says, he's trying to highlight discrimination and to make light of bigots. It kind of is hard. It's hard to, if you're satirising something, to have it not be taken as face value. I don't know, like, I think we've mentioned this before, but
Alf Garnett.
Alf Garnett, of course, and Al Murray, pub landlord as well.
Well, the trouble is, you got that translation of people watching it. Like, how many times now do you have people make like tweets that are like, and like they publish articles that are like satire, and like people pick them up as like, oh, I can't believe this news story. This happened. This happened here. It's like they take it as face value when actually, if you like had a bit of a brain and looked at it, you'd like, it's obviously not real, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I think we could probably discuss it later, but then we could we'll probably make an argument about how much more effective or less effective it would be if it was an actual person of colour playing. So the Spike Milligan category rather than a white man, browned up, blacked up, whatever.
I think that will make for an interesting conversation.
So has anyone actually seen any episodes of this? Because all I've ever seen of this is like a clip in like, it was clip shows where they do like the 50 like top 100 sitcoms of all time and stuff like that, or like 50 worst things or something like that, and you see like a 2-second clip of it, and you have like a little talking head of someone going, I can't believe they showed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, this is kind of grouped in the same kind of grouping in the sitcoms as like Love Thy Neighbour, and what was the one in the school where they're learning English? What's that one?
Mind Your Language?
That's it,
Mind Your Language. This in particular was written by Johnny Speight, which is a great name, Johnny Speight. Yeah. He also wrote Till Death Us Do Part,
Classic.
In Sickness and in Health.
Classic.
Just a classic for everything.
So, but before we started recording, I think I was a bit. You could tell that I was a bit apprehensive to say this next bit.
Oh no!
Oh no! Can you just get a soundbite on it and just play that?
There was something aired called "If There Weren't Any Blacks, You'd Have to Invent Them."
What's that?
Don't know.
So what is that? What is it? What's the context of that?
That's
Why did you say that?
That's something. Cutting that out, yeah.
What's he doing? He's just reading from his diary. What's he doing?
Here we go again.
Clip that and then send it to your company. Send it to your manager. I think you might want to take a look into one of your recent employees. # bigot.
Oh, passing that review.
What was that? Was it like a TV show or something?
It was a TV show. So Johnny Speight wrote a program.
What was the name of the TV show?
Was that a pilot or was that an actual series?
I don't know if it was a pilot or a series, but he wrote.
You got no more information about that?
I mean, it'd be on IMDb if you want to.
I'm not typing that into my computer.
Well, my search history is questionable enough, so.
Incognito.
Yeah. Didn't you start typing that and it was all correct?
Yeah, just the word if.
The link was purple. He'd already been on it.
If you type in "if there," first one, "If There Be Fawns," which was a TV movie in 2015, and the second one is "If There Weren't Any Blacks, You'd Have to Invent Them."
What? Just type in
it's
"if there."
It's a TV movie. I mean, it's on my phone, so
what is it
possibly
about?
not. Written by Anonymous. Good start. Writer Johnny Speight continues his work against racism with this thought-provoking, made-for-TV drama, which examines the way in which human beings pigeonhole each other with regards to their religion, colour, or sex. So if there weren't any blacks, you'd have to invent them as a TV movie written by him.
Johnny Speight. So
Johnny Speight done that.
He's got a certain area of interest, and he's ploughing his little furrow.
Yeah, I think like good on him for trying to promote that, but it feels like it hasn't really worked in terms of lasting across time.
Because he seems to have made his protagonist a bit too charismatic. Well, they seem to have caught on as like, I don't know.
The focus of what he's trying to put across has
been lost a bit.
Yeah. This, I think, as you said, was one series around 6 episodes, and in 1969, it got a rating of 6.7 out of 10 As you said, it stars.
Drop below 7. That's a shame.
Yeah, it's a good start already. So we know we're in for a real treat. It stars, as you said, Spike Milligan as Kevin O'Grady. He played a character the same name in Death Us Do Part.
Kevin O'Grady.
Yeah, so he plays Kevin O'Grady in that exactly.
And he's not blacked up in that.
I don't know. I didn't get the information.
Probably would have mentioned it if he had.
Yeah. He was also in Life of Brian, and he co-wrote The Life of Brian.
Oh, wasn't it? Where did I hear that? He just happened to be where they were filming that in like Tunisia or wherever. They were filming like Life of Brian. He just happened to be there, and they said, "Oh, you can be in our film if you want."
Oh, really?
And he just kind of was a sort of cameo. But before they finished filming it, he just sort of wandered off with his costume and everything. So like he's a cameo,
right?
And doesn't really go anywhere. But like,
who?
Spike Milligan.
Oh.
He's in Life of Brian. I heard someone telling that story. I can't remember who it was. But.
Would have been on. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Eric Sachs as Arthur Blenkinsop, and he also appeared in what?
It's just an annoying name, isn't it? Blenkinsop.
Blenkinsop. Yeah.
It's an annoying comedy name, isn't it?
You think Blenkinsop?
Yeah.
What sort of character is he going to be then?
A weed.
A weed.
A sop.
Yeah, a sop, innit? A sop.
Oh, okay.
Some sort of a geek or a...
Such a boff. He also appeared in Till Death Us Do Part with a character with the same name. And he was in Dinner Ladies, Eric Sachs.
Mm-hmm.
And finally he was the voice in Teletubbies.
Oh,
So
which one?
I imagined... which one? Tinky Winky. No, I imagine it was Time for Tubby Bye Bye, I imagine. I guess.
Was it?
Psych.
I guess.
I thought it was a woman.
It's a man. Time for Tubby
Was
Bye
it?
Bye.
Yeah.
But the lady was the voice of like the son, wasn't she?
That was an actual baby.
No, not
It's
that.
really, really good makeup.
But I'm sure there was a lady who was like,
What was the...
"Time to wake up, Teletubbies," or whatever.
I
and
think
all
that was a
stuff.
woman. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think-
what did he do the voice of? Tubby Bye Bye.
Yeah. I like that I got you to say it, and you were just laughing to yourself.
Sorry.
I just said Tubby Bye Bye.
Tubby
Really
Bye Bye.
serious. His furrowed brow saying Tubby Bye
Tubby
Bye.
Bye Bye. That's the name of my dissertation. Doctor of Comedy.
That's the name of my fast results weight loss program. Tubby Bye Bye.
Bye-bye. That's what I said. Used to my short stint at Swimming World before I left. Just haven't got the scales.
Tubby. Tubby. Is that what Tubby the tuber, isn't it? He's already a fucking tuber. Don't call him that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a brass instrument with a hat, you fat cunt.
See Tubby the Tuber? Have we covered this before?
Stupid little blue suit. Fuck off. Prick. Tubby. Fat cunt the tuber. A fat controller. All right, mate.
Yeah.
He's in charge of an entire railway line. What have you ever done? Fucking leave him alone.
Oh.
Judge him on his performance, not his spirit.
Yeah, not on his blood pressure.
Performance.
What's it always comes back to someone's thinking? I brought it
Oh,
around.
what's
It's
that?
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
I brought it around. It's a great show. Check it out. Check it out, guys, if you haven't.
Just needs to do a special bonus Thomas Tank Engine.
Oh, we should actually. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Kids TV.
What? How much work have I got to do?
It's all come to this. Managed to avoid it.
It's not that funny though, is it? Someone's thinking.
Well, it's not funny though, but it's just mental. Like it doesn't make any sense, does it? It's ridiculous.
No.
Sorry. There's no way it'd work.
No, the
anyway.
fat controller, well, as I prefer to call him, is to Topham Hat. He makes some questionable decisions in the railway.
Questionable business decisions.
Yeah.
It's like he's got a monopoly on it though, isn't he?
I know,
Really?
yeah.
Is he control the rail for that whole
Island.
island?
So door.
Should we
Thoughts,
do?
Mark?
Probably, yes. 'Cause, I mean, you don't ever see the competitor.
No.
So yeah, I imagine he is.
Yeah,
Drives prices up.
He should be
Southern
part,
Rail.
they should make him part of a board. Like he shouldn't have sole.
Has he got
decisions.
shareholders, or is it just literally just him?
We never hear of any kind of.
And he proper lords it up though, because he's wearing a top hat and tails and that and
Oh,
everything.
he's
Like
called
he's not. It's
Admiral
like
Top
proper
Hat.
like, isn't he?
You know what
Like
I mean?
not even pretending that he's raking in the cash.
He's just taking a piss.
No drivers either. He's not got penny drivers. He's got sentient engines.
Oh,
What
no.
does he do? Brick them up if they don't do
He's a
his
fucking
bidding.
lunatic. At the point in that episode, he bricks up Henry for having obviously some kind of anxiety issue.
He wanted to get Uni involved, so he bricked him up.
Union busting, bricking him up in a fucking tunnel. Yeah, but the point is, he bricked him up in a tunnel for, I don't know, 6 months or whatever.
6 months?
I don't know how it doesn't go into specifics in the episode.
In train times.
Yeah.
Always late.
But the point is that he bricks up that tunnel, so he's lost an entire track in that part of the thing.
Oh, what are you heartless? You're thinking about the resources.
It's fucking lunacy.
Yeah, but that tunnel might have been just like a train, like
imagine not the build
stable.
Can you brick that up? What with the train in it? Yeah, both ends. Are you
No,
sure the train's inside the tunnel?
It wasn't a tunnel, was it? I thought it was a train dock.
Dock? That's a boat.
No, where did you park a train? I don't know. What's it called?
Engine shed.
All right, fine. Was it?
No, it was an engine shed. He went into a
shed?
tunnel because it was raining. And he didn't.
He
come
just
out.
went into a tunnel, so he just bricked up the tunnel.
Yeah, he wouldn't come out, and he went no.
Yeah,
It's like, well, I'm going to fucking brick you up. The Nazi was just following orders who bricked up a train in there. He was like, what? That's a lot of bricks. I mean, are you sure you're
bricks and services disrupted because of.
So you want to keep your job, you'll brick up that train. And he's lost it, so they're going to have to build up some sort of like one-way system around that bricked up tunnel. It's lunacy. If he was part of the board, they'd be like, we don't think you're fit. You need to take some time.
What
off
life was like on obviously this like the fascist dictatorship.
Yeah,
wasn't it? He had the government in his pocket. He could do what he liked, couldn't he?
It's a good parable, wasn't it?
Mm.
And the people just following orders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this case, Henry was.
So a little bonus.
The Jews.
Thomas Tank Jones.
So
anyway, what was he even talking about?
Racist sitcom Curry and Chips.
Oh yeah.
Why are we talking?
It's very much like Thomas Tank Engine.
It is, yeah. Yeah. Stupid accents. Bingo star. Scouse, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know much more information on this. Like I can.
Yeah.
Theme tune? Any suggestions as to what that might be?
Idea.
No clue. I imagine it's going to be something like it's probably going to some sort of like Indian sort of music, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
No. What do you mean? Why are you doing your head?
But like,
because you were shaking your head like in disgust as you were saying it. So.
I think I would have to agree with that because I can't think what else it might be.
Like a sitar sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in 60.
Bow, bow, bow.
In 69, would they have known like to recognise that as
because it was
music?
Well, that or it's going to be
stuff.
music that sounds a bit foreign, and it will be like that sort of thing. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, Ravi Shankar was well big in the 60s, wasn't
he? Who?
Ravi Shankar.
I know the name, but
he taught George Harrison how to play the sitar, and that's why George Harrison put the sitar in.
okay.
You know the songs that you skip on the Beatles albums. He was taught by Ravi Shankar. They're rubbish, aren't they? Those George Harrison.
I mean, you have to
no offense to that kind of music, but
such as what song? Sorry, I wouldn't know. From
Love You Too.
Yeah, fair.
The other one. It's like, come on, I want some Yellow Submarine. Come on. Obla di Obla Da. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Thank you. Exactly. There's no like George Harrison rambling on.
Yeah.
Guitar gently weeps. Dabbing a guitar with a tissue. Like, shh. I don't know. Right, so you've not seen any of this sitcom, no?
I've seen a little bit of it, a different episode, just to get a taste of it, but I don't remember.
You watched it in the other room? Weren't you? What I heard you say was, ha ha ha, yes, I agree. Is that, is that what you're watching?
Yeah.
You went, what a country we used to.
Yeah.
Good old days.
Is that why you get shouting, bellowing halcyon days next door? Is that why you get...
Yes. Should we go watch Curry and Chips?
Let's do it, boys.
Yeah, right.
Try to keep the cheering to a minimum, Mark.
Series 1, Episode 4, Curry and Chips. So we just watched Series 1, Episode 4 of Curry and Chips. That was a difficult watch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a slog, wasn't it?
I'm not even going to necessarily push it over to one of you guys to try to talk through it. There wasn't really
any comedy.
No.
I'm sorry. I thought this was be like funny because it's so inappropriate.
He was hoping for a good series finale. Very sober. And can we split it round so that we're doing like? Can we end on Thin Blue Line? Yeah. That was more of a LeBron.
Well, there were also police involved in this. That was it started and ended. Book ended by.
It wasn't jokes, was it? It was like ranting, just hoping that the time of the people would be finding it funny and agreeing with a lot of the ridiculous things that they were saying. Really, like it was like audience giving like rounds of applause and stuff, and it was hinging on his funny accent, and that's it really.
His accent was pretty bad. It's only Welsh at times, isn't it?
Yeah. It was really, really ill-conceived. I can. If what he truly intended to do was just make peace, essentially, across all races, then this it's just like taking a minigun to like a duel.
Well, I can see how that it would have been they say about his intentions, but you can see how it was misinterpreted as just
heavily.
Yeah, you can see it on paper, like
you can think like,
it's well intentioned, like the bad characters are the white people with racist views, and the you know
one you meant to sort of sympathise with, and
the people of colour, like as Ken, is it his name?
Kenny,
guy.
But it's so poorly executed. It was just it was awful.
It was. I think if it was written, you could perhaps read it in a way that you would say, okay, I can understand what you're trying to do here. Still doesn't work, but I can still see what you're trying to do. It was down to the way it was shot as well that a lot of the time was really getting to me. There were scenes with Eric Sykes at the bar where he was on the side of anyone of colour. So by that meaning anyone that isn't white, where he was clearly saying, like, oh, no, but they're okay. And then a guy would argue back at him to say, but they're not okay for this reason. But the way it was shot, it was looking at Eric Sykes' face, and he had a look on his face of almost to say, yeah, actually, you might be right.
No, I think he was just incredulous.
He fell into that. Yeah, he fell into that look of no. Actually, I'm standing by my opinion. But there was a look in his eyes at the start of it. There was just of.
I don't think so. I think it was just he was listening to him, and it's
badly shot. He was just listening, waiting for his line and stuff like that. It was ridiculous.
What have I got to say next?
No, I think it was him first listening to him and hearing him out, and then it slowly sort of dissolving into incredulity. I can't fucking say that word. How do you say that? Incredulity.
I'm going to be enabled.
It was incredulous. So yeah, Eric Sykes was the relatively for this show was the progressive person. He's the foreman of the factory, isn't it? So basically, it wasn't there wasn't really a very strong narrative ran for the episode. It was mainly a theme that ran through it, which was that. It started in the police station where there had been a race riot close to the police station, and a policeman had been injured. Well, he'd been involved in sort of, beaten up a bit.
Comedy plaster on his face.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah.
And it was a bird. It was a lady talking to him.
The white woman with the blonde hair.
Was that Ken's mum?
No, that was Kevin's aunt.
Kevin's aunt.
So that was Kevin's aunt, and Kevin's uncle was the foreman, from what I can understand from it, because they're married. They're a married couple, and they were talking about
right.
his dad, which was which would have been a Muslim man, and it would have been his her sister would have been.
Oh, this is confusing.
Yeah, so Kevin's mum is the blonde woman's sister.
Okay, so the blonde woman.
Yep.
Her son had been arrested? Why was she there? Why was she talking to the policeman?
It was
because
his nephew.
Kevin had been arrested. Her nephew had been arrested. Her nephew Kevin.
Spike Milligan had been arrested?
Yes.
Because he got caught up in a race riot?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
No, what? Kevin's not her nephew. I thought it was Kenny. She kept saying, Kenny.
It was Ken, wasn't it? The black guy?
Yeah.
I thought... Oh, what? Jesus Christ.
Why is it needlessly complicated? Why?
I thought it was Kevin.
No, I thought it was Kenny.
Oh, all right then. Okay.
Funny Kenny.
Funny Kenny. Oh, Jesus. All right. Okay. I thought it was Kevin.
I think so. I don't know. I don't know.
No, you're probably
right. I don't think
right.
it matters anyway. Anyway,
no.
They went straight in early doors with some racial epithets straight in there.
And it just carried on. It's just non-stop, wasn't it? It was just it was just ranting, wasn't it? It was not even funny like guy from Thin Blue Line ranting about like something ridiculous. It was like just
he hardly used any racial slurs at all.
It's just rhetoric, and it's like the use of language and stuff. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, obviously, like today, like mental. But I'm guessing like, back then, I don't know. Is that what people spoke about like on TV?
Yeah, I think. Well,
I don't know.
Well, it had the same pacing as the Afghanistan one. You can see it was like the same writer based on the way people had really long monologues about something.
In a pub, yeah.
In a pub.
Because there was the balance was all off because there were everyone white in this, apart from Eric Sykes, had extremely racist views, and were extremely antagonistic towards the people of colour in it. But to balance it out, Kenny was a sympathetic character who seemed intelligent, and he kind of took all the racist abuse on the chin.
Kenny was the black man.
Right.
Just for the benefit of anyone trying to follow us as well, and me, of course.
And then to balance it out, you've got a white guy blacked up in blackface doing a funny accent. So it doesn't. There's no balance. It doesn't counteract all the racism from the white people because you don't have a strong enough character to root for because he's a figure of fun. He's a ridiculous character.
It's not like you wouldn't say it was someone relatable, someone like playing just a real character, playing like an immigrant having to deal with all this. He was there as a.
What are you watching? That's a recipe video. He's talking about racial politics and someone's making a fucking ice cream. The comedic way it fell down so I could see it as well. Oh my god.
To be fair, it was a Neapolitan ice cream, so he was at least covering.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, his pants fell down there. Oh god. Anyway, back to the racism.
Right. What was I saying? It was just it was a caricature, wasn't it? What?
Fucking idiot.
What do you mean?
What was it a recipe for anyway?
Oh, it's just like a cake or whatever, isn't it?
Anyway, what are you saying?
I was saying it's just like a caricature of like a very narrow view of what somebody from a certain country would be like.
Yeah.
With a funny put on voice and whatever he had all over his face.
Because he's getting all this abuse and he's giving as good as he gets in terms of racism. But then he's not. The audience doesn't identify with him. Like because he's as much as he sticks up for himself and sticks up for Ken and everything. He's a laughable figure. Like you laugh at him because he says funny things about getting kicked in the jacksie and stuff, and which is fair enough. But like,
it doesn't actually try and solve anything. Cause it's not like they're trying to come out with like the racism's bad or you shouldn't be doing this. It just kind of like says, oh well, you're having a go at me because I'm on the brownish side. I'd rather be that than pasty white like you. Look at you. So it's not actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's hard to sort of put it like that, but it's just back and forth having a go, isn't it?
But then Eric, like I said, Eric Sykes' character is like quite a progressive, and he's trying to keep the peace in his workplace, and he's very sympathetic towards the plight of the non-white characters, and then in the pub he's making quite an impassioned defence of them, and he's like trying to debate this quite rabidly racist man who was at the bar.
Yeah. There's no real context for who he was in all of this as well.
Yeah.
No. But then I suppose we're watching one episode, aren't we? Out of could be someone who's in it a lot. With the workplace, a joke factory.
Lilycrap Ltd.
Jesus Christ, what was it? The scene where he's like had an upside down clown mask with a nose on it, and they said, "Oh, it's a little duck. What's that?" Like, he's a manager or foreman of a joke factory. He doesn't even know what they're fucking producing.
Yeah,
it would have been on the invoice. I'm sure what it was.
Well, you think do they make it or do they just unbox it and play with it or whatever? I don't know.
Spike Milligan mainly was sweeping the floor. That was his job.
He was just sweeping the floor, and then he turned it upside down, and then there was like a little weird shot of him sitting with the clown hat on, and it was like what?
And then there was a part where I was talking to Ken, and Ken had his back to the camera. I was like, well, there's obviously a reason why he's got his back to the camera. Come on, why is it? Come on, out with it. And he turns around and he's got those like eyes on
big googly eyes, yeah.
We're like, good. That's apropos of nothing. It had nothing to do with what was. And he just carried on talking. Like, oh,
and
right.
Paid off.
The manager had the scene where he's talking to him with a fucking Captain Hook. Pirate Hook.
Yeah,
he kept doing little things with his arm.
He's trying to keep the peace, and he's making quite an intelligent argument about racism, while all the while he's got a plastic hook on his hand. It's like it's kind
moving his arm around, like keep dragging his other arm across.
Undermining his
ridiculous.
So with the clown mask that he had, that it seemed like a known joke that they'd just written incorrectly. So
a clown mask.
Yeah, it was like.
Do you want to know how I got this racist?
It's like a clown mask that goes up on top of your head and then it cuts half on the nose, like a half red nose. And at the start of the joke, I think, if this is the one I'm thinking of, is supposed to be, what's a duck do? And the other person says, like, basically, I don't know what's a duck do. And then when he puts the clown mask on the other guy's head, he honks the nose and says, quack, quack, what's a duck do?
Oh, was it?
Quack,
I
quack.
didn't come across
so he didn't.
Odd.
That's the thing. The setup for the joke wasn't there, but the punchline was. So it sounded like they were supposed to be doing that, but they didn't do that.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, so I think if they would have done it, then I would have perhaps gone, oh, okay, they're doing that, but they didn't.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really. What was the story? There was race riots. It had the policeman was ranting. The guy in the pub was ranting. The two blokes at work were ranting. They were at lunch and they were all ranting at each other. Weird bit. Just in case the racism wasn't enough, they had a little bit of sexism because they had the waitress come to collect all the plates or whatever, and they all went mental at a table, like sort of like cartoon eyes out their heads and banging and whistling.
Yeah.
And then then it went to the pub and they were ranting, and then it ended up with a bit of religion, then back to the police officer who said, "Oh, now it's a religious riot," and cut to the pub where they were all having a punch up. So it was just there wasn't really any jokes, was there?
Well, there was one thing I had down. I thought there was a genuinely a good back and forth. So Spike Milligan's character was complaining about the hooligan riot that he was caught in. He says, "Oh, I've got a black eye," and Kenny, the black guy in this, says, "Well, I've got two." Like, and I just thought it was a back and forth. There was a very I'm aware it's a written comedy, but it was a very quick retort, and literally the only thing that seemed like somebody had tried to do a recognisable joke in this, other than the weird thing with the clown's nose, or
there was
the physical comedy.
That was really good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So the writer, Johnny Speight, said that because it was cancelled after 6 episodes, obviously the Independent Television Authority cancelled it. Mm-hmm. And Johnny Speight, in defence of his show, said it was the English who were made to look bigoted in the show, but the people at the ITA can understand that. It was London LWT's first year, but only 6 shows went out. The ITA made LWT take it off, saying it was racist. And Screen Online, this is like pretty much in a more articulate way saying what I was saying a minute ago. It says though it again attempted to raise important questions, the show lacked a strong enough voice to challenge the racist attitude of its characters, and too much of its humour relied on the use of crude racial abuse and Milligan's caricatured performance as Kevin. It was dropped on 6 episodes. And in retrospect, it's hard to understand how Speight and LWT could have failed to anticipate the offence.
Yeah.
It's also controversial for a number of swear words, isn't it? The word bloody was used 59 times in one episode, and
well, it was 4 times within the first 30 seconds. And
Eric Sykes refused to swear at all.
Oh,
bloody hell!
6 years later, Milligan once again blacked up in the BBC series The Melting Pot. Only 1 episode was shown, and the other 5 were pulled. Why do you keep blacking out? Johnny Speight would again ask Milligan to black up on 2 occasions for his BBC sitcom Till Death Us Do Part, one of which was to play the part originally created for Coney and Chips.
Yeah.
So, why does he keep... Why? But then, like the minstrel show was on at the time, and it? The black and white minstrel, that was in the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, Spike Milligan's character in this made a joke of that, talking about all the famous people there are that are of colour, and he said, "Oh, Al Jolson was, I think, the first one he named in that."
Yeah.
And I think this came at the same time towards then with the chat in the pub, where Eric Sykes, character was talking about how Pakistanis fought in the war and he was getting them mixed up with the Gurkhas, and he was saying, yeah, they were great, and then Spike Milligan's character chips in to say, no, that's not us. So I think there's bits like that in this where it's great education for the like ignorant white people that just don't get it. But it was so ill conceived that nothing came across in this that could.
It wasn't even
help
well
anyone.
acted or anything, was it? It was like
that fucking hat. That fucking hat he was playing
shouting.
With. Yeah.
Oh, what the
Eric Sykes hat. Every time he was like trying to make a point, he would reset his hat as if it like there was a cassette in the 90s that we had to blow in just to get it to work. It was just fitting that fucking hat. Really irritated me.
Well, like for context, like at the same, like the the black and white minstrel show. That was on TV. It was on British TV.
I've never seen it, but
so you know what I mean? It's like they were all blacked up in it.
Yeah.
And for context, like that ran until 1978 on TV.
78.
Yeah.
Christ.
So you know what I mean? So blacking up was a thing. Like I still do it. Like in Spain, when I go to Spain, I watch. They have, I can't remember what it's called. It's their equivalent of Stars in Their Eyes. And if it's a person doing a like Jason Derulo or whatever, they will black up in it still.
Yeah.
Now in 2019.
Jesus.
And I'm like horrified, and like they just think it's fine. Like, I don't know.
I was with an ex-girlfriend once, and I went down to visit her parents, and it was like a sort of local. I don't know. You know when like big floats come out, sort of like a parade kind of thing.
Yeah.
Milk. Bottle boys, bottle boys.
It's 5:30 in the morning, sitting on the side of the curb, waiting for it.
Big sign. I'm up with a lark.
Got the milk.
Yeah, there was a few floats went past, and I'm just like, I'm completely indifferent to all of this. And then, as is my general response.
When you were asked if you were enjoying it.
Yeah.
How are you enjoying the parade so far? I'm just different. Don't know why I've been here all day.
But then one came past, and there was like someone blacked up on it. There was a few people blacked up, and I'm like, how is this a thing? And like this would have been 2015, 16 maybe.
Where was this?
When was
Where?
this? I don't remember in the country.
You know, like country folk.
Yeah, it was just so confusing.
So did this stand up?
Joke of the week. Was it a joke of the week?
I mean, as I said, the only thing in this I thought was a good back and forth was he's got a black eye, and Kenny's character saying, well, I've got two. And that's literally all I've got down as a joke. The rest of it seemed like ill-conceived education for trying to get white people to understand that it's okay to, not be white.
Was it though? Was it mentally well? That was well conceived. If that was the point they were trying to make.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe like Johnny Speight's explanations for these shows. His justification. They don't ring true to me at all.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm nodding because I'm just.
They don't ring true to me at all. It sounds like somebody who's trying to
get off with it, and trying to say like, "Oh no, sorry, it was research for a book."
Exactly. It's like, it doesn't ring true at all. It's like he just wants to put a load of racial slurs and then put someone blacked up doing a funny voice.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't believe Johnny Speight. It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't add up.
It really doesn't. Yeah, it's like how many times can you trust someone with the same thing that keeps
exactly
doing,
like
yeah.
this is his MO is having loads of white people saying racist stuff, and there's not enough like the review a screen online said there wasn't enough of a strong enough opposing voice to counter it. So all you're left with is a load of you remember the racist stuff and all the racist words and shit, but then you don't. There's no takeaway of an intelligent rebuttal to it in the show.
I think I don't want to like defend anyone at all in this because this was a hard watch, but I think the only way I can sort of talk back to that is perhaps he didn't have anyone in his life that explained that to him, and he just kept trying to get his point across of it's okay.
Well, I think it's also a product of its times in that everybody involved in commissioning it and making it would have been white.
White, yeah, exactly.
There was no opposing voices.
There's no good way out of any of this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll definitely recommend it to the viewers.
9 out of 10.
Yeah. Does it stand the test of time, Mark?
No, definitely not.
Chris?
No, probably not.
Yeah, I would agree. Probably on balance, it probably doesn't.
Probably on balance. Needed more jokes.
Yeah. There wasn't enough laughs in it for me.
Yeah.
Needed more jokes and no chips.
There were hardly any chips in it as well.
No chips.
They mentioned curry. They did mention curry, but
Of course they did.
no chips.
I was expecting some chips.
What was Spike Milligan drinking? A little tiny. It looked like a Guinness in a tiny wine glass.
It did, yeah, like a sherry glass.
Guinness, sherry glass worth of Guinness.
I wonder what it was.
And those old pint tankards.
The big fat guy had bad taste, didn't he?
Oh, Greengrass out of what was he in? Was it Heartbeat?
Sounds about right. Oh, was that him?
Yeah, that was Greengrass. No, it wasn't. Oh, it wasn't Greengrass. He was in Heartbeat though.
Did it?
No, it was Onslow. It was fucking Onslow
Okay,
from.
all right.
Sorry, I'm
Calm down.
It was Onslow from Keeping Up Appearances. That's who it was.
Yeah.
I've never seen that show.
You're not saying Keeping Up Appearances?
Why you said it like,
and you chose this?
You've missed out.
Well,
Check it out.
I'm just saying. Made a prequel to it. Fun fact. Yeah.
No. What do we usually do? Is that it?
How would you make this show okay to watch? Like if
Well, first of all, like you could make the show, and then obviously cast the actual Pakistani person as the main character, but it wouldn't be a comedy.
No, I agree. Yeah, it wouldn't be at all.
Because even if it was like funny, you try to output genuinely funny bits, the tone would clash so much with the actual like really racist stuff.
You need to pick something funnier than like race riots and religious riots.
The actual hard-hitting issues.
Like, I don't know.
Like the way to solve this isn't through comedy, I think.
No, the jokes that would be in something like this would be like just an emotional conversation between two people. We just like, oh, that's nice.
We could have them clashing about like values or something. Like morals, like their ethics are different, but not just because it was literally just colour of skin, wasn't it? Like 90% of that clashing wasn't anything to do with like their who they were or what their sort of beliefs were.
Yeah.
I think like I'll retract what I said just now about comedy not being able to, because comedy has been used to like tackle, you know, wrongdoing and people's views and stuff, like off the top of my head.
Jim Davidson, Roy Chappie Brown.
Precisely. No, like The Great Dictator, for example, Charlie Chaplin.
Yes.
And he said, what's that?
Charlie Chaplin.
Okay, well, I'm not saying he's good.
Well, no. Yeah.
What's about Charlie Chaplin?
Just don't like him.
Why? Why?
Just not got any time for it.
He was a nonce.
Was he?
Yeah.
He did get married to someone today, didn't he?
Yeah, he was like fingering a 14-year-old or something.
Whoa, okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah. Well,
he wasn't a very nice guy. But I just don't really like, I'm not really a big fan of that sort of comedy. Like,
well, silent.
It's
not too quiet.
Speak up. Speak up, you fucking tramp.
Fucking out of tune piano all the time.
Okay, well.
Yeah, sorry, anyway. All right, yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
No, you're right, yeah, Chaplin was shit.
Comedy. Yeah,
it's great to take. He sent up Adolf Hitler because he made him look ridiculous.
Yeah.
In this, they're not sending up the viewpoints of the white people in it. They're giving him like a platform to say their actual views, and there's no counterpoint to it.
Well, and some of the views that were given like were ridiculous, got applause from what I can assume is either the studio audience or added in.
No, it's so badly edited.
It was just I think that the applause. It was the what's his name?
It sounded like it was applause for what the guy just said, though, wasn't it?
Eric Sykes, when he just goes out at the break.
The little short scouse bloke said something. Rossiter was his name. Sorry, Norman Rossiter.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Looked
like Cole Meany, that guy.
The little one.
Yeah, looked like Cole Meany. I didn't recognise him from
Who's Cole Meany?
Who's Cole Meany?
Cole Meany?
What is this? Where have you been living? Cole Meany. You know, ever seen Star Trek, first of all? Like, his name. I don't know why so sarcastic. I didn't mean to be sarcastic. Star Trek?
Star Trek?
Die Hard 2. You know, in Die
I've
Hard
never
2
seen any of Die Hard films.
Wow. Okay. Have you seen the Alan Partridge film?
Good, actually. No.
Yeah,
Have you seen Alan Partridge film? No.
Fucking hell.
Wow.
He is in
what's that?
the Hugh Grant film, The Englishman Who Went Up a Hill and Came Down a Mountain.
No.
That's a good one.
What's that? Hell
Hell on Wheels.
No.
Hell on Wheels.
He was in Hell on Wheels. That's right up your street.
Yeah, you'd like that.
Yeah.
It's about trains.
About what?
Trains.
Come on, meanly. Anyway, so he had like a big racist tirade, and then it went to like the title card saying the end of part 1, and it's obviously like a stock thing of having the title card with the audience clapping it out onto the.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it looked like it was.
So the way it is, like Mark said, it's unfortunate editing, and the guy has this racist tirade cut to like rapturous applause.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
That was a real slog. Like,
Yeah.
I was just it's upsetting, and like I did chuckle a few times, like just out of
just
bewilderment. Like it was just surreal.
The title sequence as well.
Oh,
that was
let's go
like
into that now.
unbelievable.
So yeah, you're both right in that. No, I think we were both kind of right because the outro music was classic sitcom music,
Yeah.
like Blinky Blonky 60s.
I don't remember the outro. I was in a world of my own at that point.
But the opening credit was it was remarkable. It was a sitar, and then it was Spike Milligan, wasn't it? Like wailing in like cod sort of Pakistani.
And I think you correctly identified that it was a song. It was an actual song that.
So he done a interpolation of the
Interpolation.
musical term.
Oh, is it?
I just thought you said it wrong.
I thought you said it wrong. I thought you got mental.
I thought it was an
interpretation.
Yeah.
Interpolation is like when you like do a cover version of a song.
Oh, right.
That's like an interpolation.
Cut us the question.
So
That.
got uni money going to well spent there.
Yeah, 1 week at a time.
Lesson 1, interpolation. You can all go home now.
Write this word 50 times.
But then, and he's singing the tune of Old Danny Boy to a sitar, but he's saying, "Old Pakistan, the poppadoms are calling."
Yeah.
This is upsetting. And then
There's no no equivalency for pipes, is there? I don't know.
I don't know many instruments in general. Is there any like Indian instruments with pipes? I don't know.
Don't know.
Where's Peru?
That's South America.
South America.
Right, no then.
Yeah.
Panpipes, you're thinking of, aren't you?
Yeah.
Mm.
What's that about? How comes every town centre has a little Peruvian fella playing
weird,
panpipes?
Yeah,
What?
Romford
Yeah,
has it.
Romford, or where did I go? Bath. There's a little man playing.
Yeah.
There was a man in Bath, an old man,
A man in a bath. That's weird. What? I keep telling you, get out of his bathroom.
Somewhere.
Oh, I wanted to do it at the old people's home, and I was in Bath, and there was like an old South American man playing panpipes, doing a panpipe cover of Despacito.
Really?
Yes.
I've never seen that.
No,
You're missing
neither had
out.
I until that day.
I've
What's
seen
that about though? Every sort of
Who used to do? I think it was a sketch. Was it Dom Jolly used to do Peruvian people?
Yeah.
Dom Jolly?
people.
Peruvians.
I remember my dad had a CD of like panpipe covers that he got off like QVC or something like that.
Yeah. Any
It was, like,
any classics on that? Any bangers?
I can't even remember.
Up Where We Belong. That's a classic panpipe one, isn't it?
Oh yeah. If I'm honest, I thought
What's
that
a trumpet?
That's quite good.
Just get in the bath and it's too hot.
Let's get his panpipes in there again.
yeah. Any other good panpipe songs that you think we could?
I reckon
Modern day covers of panpipe songs.
I think you do it to a panpipes. I don't know anything, can't you?
I reckon everything I do for you with a good one.
I don't even need to move my head. I'm doing this, do I? Just realise halfway through. Like,
You're proper getting
no,
into it.
Yeah, really.
We need some panpipes.
Sorry. So no, it's absolutely fine. This is very enjoyable. There are YouTube comments for this.
Are there? Oh dear.
There are.
Do we want to read them out?
Yeah, I've not read them.
Oh my
Go on,
God.
go for it.
I'm really scared. M Winter 86 says.
MJ Winter.
Okay, top one is Spike Milligan Genius. Oh no. Scouse John says, when I first watched this, I thought another racist joke show, but it's not. It's making a point. Well, this is... oh, no. How beautiful comedy was back then when there was not PC police. Police constable police.
PC
Nice to
police,
see-
that'd be a good last name, wouldn't it? Police.
I had no choice but to go into this line of work. Nice to see a young Onslow. What fun.
Onslow, yeah, I do.
I don't know what that means. No.
What was the previous one?
Oh, right, so Firewater is hitting back with... And as usual, the PC Gone Mad brigade have missed the point of the show. The show was mocking right-wing conservatives, not left-wing liberals. No other Pakistani played by Spike Milligan is smarter than almost every white character. Most of them played by well-traded idiots.
I mean, that was the intent. It's just not what happened in this.
I know Johnny Speight had good intentions, but I hated the Afghani, and this is just rubbish. No, it's getting worse. I'm not reading those out.
Really?
Yep.
Well, if you want to see the YouTube comments for yourself, just...
How is him again? Look, it's from my...
your mate?
From my football, yeah.
Oh, go on. What's your mate saying?
Spike Milligan must have been clever. He was consistently unfunny and usually offensive, and yet everyone thinks he's a bloody genius. Jesus Christ! Wow, that's...
Go on.
Well, that's upsetting. The bottom one there. Oh no! So you've got more than one account. Well, yeah.
Wow! All right.
Brilliant. Thanks for making me read those, Mark.
You're welcome.
Go on then. What are we doing now? The quiz, is it?
Yeah, game, not
Yeah.
quiz.
Write down as many racist words as you can.
Clapped out, run down, too old to save. 1 foot in the game.
I am concerned now that I may have made an ill-conceived game.
Oh, right. Johnny Speight.
So
Oh
Just
my
tell
God.
us that it's meant to heal wounds, not...
it's meant to. Well,
Oh no! If you realise that it's inappropriate, then it probably is quite inappropriate.
Well, no,
if you, Mark, wouldn't have realised that it's inappropriate. Oh no!
because I genuinely thought that this show would have some comedy in it, so I thought.
Oh, we all did. That's why I chose it.
Yeah. But basically, what I've done is I've got a game called Indian Foods and Phrases. So, is it a food or is it a phrase? So, I'm going to read out a list of what are either Indian foods or just some Indian phrases.
Okay.
And you guys have to tell me whether it's a food or a phrase.
Okay. So yeah, we're just it's based on our lack of knowledge of, me and Chris's lack of knowledge of Indian language and food, rather than Mark's. Not Mark, rather than.
It's basically relying on me pronouncing this as best that I can.
Okay. Did you need some black ups to do it? Or?
No, perks of the job.
Right, here we go. Definitely nothing can go wrong. Right.
First one.
Who's going first?
Jones, you'll be going first this week. And I'm
Okay.
going to get my...
Winners first.
Going to get the score sheets ready.
Score sheet, the tally.
Tally. Thank you. Spelled your surname wrong there. W.
Yeah,
Same
that's
as my
good.
surname. Great start.
One letter.
Jones.
Yeah.
Puran Poli.
How do you spell this?
Puranpoli.
What's the options? Food or phrase?
Food, is it a food or is it a phrase?
Phrase, I say.
It's a food.
Fuck, what is it?
It's a sweet flatbread.
Bollocks.
No, it's a sweet flatbread.
Okay.
Wood. Dood ka dula
Dude Kardula. It's a phrase.
is a phrase, correct. It means saintly. Literal translation is washed with milk.
Every night.
We're all learning. Isn't this fun? Jones.
Yeah.
Pataka. Pataka.
That sounds like food to me.
You think so, but it's actually a phrase.
Oh my God.
It means sexy. Literal translation of firecracker.
Pataka. Oh my God.
Pataka. Woods. Chamani Qualia. That's Chamani Qualia. Chamani.
Food.
New word. Qualiya. It is a food. Correct. So cottage cheese, milk, curd and spices. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, he's a food
He's
teacher.
got a food degree.
What?
Oh, it's all coming around
I
now.
haven't got a food degree.
They got, absolute sham of a teacher then, just wandering around
No.
in
I've got a
fridge.
no, my qualifications in product design, isn't it? So.
Jones.
I'm gonna get 0 in this quiz, aren't I? I just realised.
Bisibelebath. Bisibelebath. Bisibelebath.
That's not the way you pronounce it.
It's definitely not. No, none of these are, I'm sure.
Wouldn't you better to press the button on Google Translate and have that?
Phrase. I think it's a phrase.
It's a food.
Oh my god.
Rice, lentils, vegetables, and spices.
It's the pronunciation that's throwing me off.
Yeah, I'm sure. I can confirm that was the last one. So yeah, you have got 0.
Good.
Oh.
Well, no offence.
Let's go for the
professional integrity.
Let's go for the full 3 out of 3 here if possible.
Yeah.
Ungli mat kar. So that's UNGLI, new word MAT, new word KAR.
It's a phrase.
It is a phrase.
Oh my god. Oh, well done, Chris.
Which means not to interfere. Literal translation of not to finger. Cheeky. I had the spare one here for some reason. I don't know why.
In school.
Do you guys want to play the spare one between you?
Yeah, why not?
Spare what?
I had an extra one that I think I'm putting because I thought it was funny.
Oh, okay.
Butty car keys. Butty car keys. So BHUTTE, new word KA, new word KEES. Butty car keys.
Food.
And
I'd go for food as well.
Bang on, food. Grated corn is simply cooked with spices and then simmered with milk.
So I got one right, so proves that I'm not a racist. So,
so 3-0.
You have that traditional Indian dish of the omelette.
sorry, did you do sausage, egg and chips there, man? And a pint of Cobra. Cheers.
Can you make the egg a bit spicier, please?
Oh, this was a complete anticlimax of an episode, wasn't it?
Well, it fit in.
Yeah.
Good.
We'll bear that in mind. Let's not do
it. Thomas Tank Engine.
Let's just bear this in mind for future episodes. Try not to do controversial ones for the end.
Yeah, we'll save those.
I should have done Game On. That would have been really bad. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, well. Never mind.
That would have been really good. We'd have probably tripled our listenership if we'd done Game On.
But no, we've all been putting formal warnings from our jobs because they had this episode.
So would you get to choose the next episodes?
Next episode is the last of the series.
It's the last of the series, dickhead.
Never again. If we ever come back.
Recorded from prison. The hate crimes.
I'll go for On the Buses.
Okay.
Is that okay?
You can think whatever you want.
Yeah, On the Buses.
Fry and pan into the fire.
What's wrong with On the Buses?
Similar era. Actually, no, this isn't that it's wrong with it. It's a similar era, so I imagine there won't be much, if as much, racism.
There's a bit like sexism.
Sexism, yeah.
Different isms, different needs.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. All right. Well,
ding ding, all aboard.
Mind the gap. Oh, it's not buses.
No, yeah. You don't say all aboard on the bus.
Full steam ahead.
Oi!
hard to port.
3, 2, 1.
Anchors away.
169.
T minus. Oh.
All right.
Great. All right then. We'll be back.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah,
leave
like
a review.
and subscribe. Yeah.
I'd like to notice that we've had 0 reviews since my appeal last week. So good. That's good. Taking heed there.
Excellent foreshadowing.
Thank you for. Well, as the phrase goes, thanks for nothing. Thank you. Mark's look at him. Look at his little face. Look, he's trying his best. He's putting tweets out, saying listeners of the week, like and that, and they just no one's doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, giving you this free quality content like this. Today's episode was a thoughtful deconstruction of racism in the 60s. Yeah, done with real tact. Okay, deftly handled. And what do we get? Nothing. All right.
just leave it on there. Just end. Fade to pan pipes.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at British Shitcom / not / it's a hashtag. Sorry, Shitcom. Every week.
HTTP.
colon
/ www.
Merchandise, thegreatbritishshitcom.tmail. That's teemill.com. Buy yourself. Oh, don't. You ain't gonna go to anywhere.
Should we make some like design t-shirts like with what like funny catchphrases we've said?
I mean, you can add to it if you want. If you guys have got genuine suggestions, you can do anything on there. It costs nothing to make.
Well, how about like the audience suggests designs for the t-shirts?
What
like,
a lovely idea.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Exactly. Sure, we'll get a rip-roaring response from that. Yeah.
Leave us
Ideas bursting out of the seams.
in your reviews. Leave us a suggestion for t-shirts.
Or tweet us or something, innit?
No, leave it in the review.
They're not doing the review. Let's give them
the
a
review you're
avenue.
going to do. Leave a 5-star suggestion of your own suggestion, because that's obviously what that will mean.
Well, you could just tweet us and hashtag
We'll do that.
Shitcom t-shirt design or whatever.
Yeah.
Not or whatever. Don't put it in hashtag. It's too long.
Hashtag or whatever.
Hashtag. Yeah.
Hashtag, yep. Hashtag, yep.
Hashtag YUP.
I reckon that trend.
That's loud, bird. Like hashtag Shitcom t-shirt, and then say whatever your idea should be. Like Mark's sentence is trailing off. And then they do that in a visual format. I don't know. Never ideas. It's for them to decide, isn't it?
Well, coming up with ideas of t-shirts.
Yeah. Well, like what? What other things have we said that's funny?
I don't know. We could just Photoshop our faces onto like existing sitcoms.
Why would anyone want that?
I don't think I do like that.
I didn't really think that part through. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'd be like mildly annoyed if I had that. Like,
What about you could do like mouse mats? Do you do mouse mats?
For my laptop.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
You get some mouse mats.
Some bum bags. Can we get some bum bags?
Yeah, probably.
We should get those USBs, little printed USBs.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, some rubbers.
Pencils.
I'll get us notebooks, because I mean we're supposed to write stuff down for each thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Little pen.
Chris made some notes. Yeah, look.
Little pen, little tiny pen.
It's drawn like a little spiral. It's drawn
Is your axes?
He's drawn lots of sort of battle axes. When they say they're battle axes there? That's more of like an executioner's axe, isn't it, that one?
I don't really know. I don't know what I was drawing, to be honest.
The axes. What's this supposed to be? Like a shield?
I don't know. It's a cross.
Okay.
Little moon. Backwards.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like little breasts.
Nonsensical ramblings.
Good.
Do you reckon we could get some pens that when you turn them upside down, like their TVs and static falls over the TVs? Do you know what I mean? Like the nudie pens.
Yeah, but then it's a pen, like a TV wouldn't really.
Yeah, it's TV, but like just what's inside the TV would be like static. But when you turn
Yeah,
it
but the shape of the
And
pen
when you
would
turn
be
it upside
like
down, it's a naked lady.
Fingers crossed.
the pen's not conducive to the shape of it, because the nudie lady works because she's like long like a pen, whereas the TV is square, isn't it? And it wouldn't really
Is that
fit
how you
on.
describe lady women? She's long like a pen.
4.
Whoa. That's a Parker.
Oh, Mrs. Stadler.
You rate your women like pens from the Parker to the biro
the Bic.
scale, the Bic.
She's a real Bic.
Yeah, I've got nothing for the end of this.
No.
No. Should we send it? Should we just go out with some like nice, relaxing pound pipe music?
Yeah, enjoy that.
Edit it out, good.
Yeah.
10 seconds so we don't get...
I don't know when we're going to be back, because this is the end of Series 3. I don't know when we're going to do Series 4. So back sometime later in the year, maybe.
Maybe.
If we do this, leave them hanging.
Well, yeah, like
Leave some reviews. Get us,
Clawing
say
some
we'll
more.
come back. We're like, oh,
No,
popular
listen,
demand.
the thing is, like, if we don't get any reviews, we're not going to bother doing it anymore, because like we.
Oh, that's right.
No, because yeah.
there is nothing more appealing than idle threats.
What are we getting out of this?
Dunno.
Nobody says it's good. We don't get any reviews. You know what
To
I
be fair,
mean?
it's been some really, really good series and stuff that haven't made it past 2 seasons, and we're contemplating doing 4, and it's just no acclaim,
I mean,
no even sort of like listenership that actually lets you know they're actually listening. Like we could be being played in like an elevator, like a lift or something, couldn't we? For you know?
this is the equivalent of doing like I don't know, like a play to an empty theatre. Like, what is the point? We're not getting
Doing
anything
it for
back.
the art.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like what we get. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
but what would you want back? Like street recognition.
what it'd be nice to get some sponsorship.
I mean,
I think it's funny doing this, and I enjoy this, and I laugh, when I'm editing it and everything, and I think that's funny.
yeah.
But beyond that, I could just do that and not release it. I'm getting what I need out of that.
That'd be mental. That'd be a sign of madness.
It would be. But then what is this?
What?
if not a sign of madness, why are we doing this?
Why? I mean,
Look at ourselves. Why are we doing this?
I like doing things like this with the genuine hope that somebody finds things like this, and then anyone can get a sense of enjoyment out of this. Like someone that I don't know in the world is possibly listening to this right now, and we'll never meet, but there's the absolute slim chance that someone will find enjoyment in this, and that's something that
You just want to bring smiles to someone's face.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
That little person in Peru or whatever, and you're enjoying it.
Peru,
Right.
what's with Peru? South America.
If you are enjoying it, write a little fucking review, okay? Pop a little review down, all right? Or failing that, if your English isn't that good, pop it in Google Translate and give us a tweet about an idea for a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Or just a review. It's not a lot to ask, is it? That's all we want.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I just want you to enjoy yourselves. But if you are enjoying yourselves, let us know, please.
Thank you.
Please.
Maybe.
Please.
We'll be back later in the year. And thanks very much for listening.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thanks for nothing.
Bye.